What up, what up? Welcome back to Let's Get Ready for AP Precalculus, and we're on part 3, which deals with square roots and rational expressions. Pardon my language, but AP Precalculus has a butt ton of square roots. A butt ton of square roots. And so it's very important that we know how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, square roots, and that also brings us rational expressions. A butt ton. So make sure that if you're going into pre-calc and your square root game is weak, you better step your game up because you're about to get dunked on in the face. Of course, if I'm talking to a bunch of AP Pre-calc students, you probably have zero clue what sports references I'm talking about. You're probably like, I play chess. Gotcha. Oh, we have fun. I'm just joking with you. Kinda. Square root, let's simplify it. Well, the long way of simplifying a square root, and by the way, I call this the Nick Parrish method of simplifying square roots. You might have done this differently with a different teacher, but my method is the best. If you need to go off to the side and make yourself a factor tree, this is not a matter of like, let's plug it into our calculator and it's going to be like 4.9-ish. No. You make a factor tree and you find the prime factorization. So two numbers that multiply out to 24, how about 4 and 6? Neither of them are prime. Let's keep going. 2 and 2, circle the 2, circle the 2, circle the 2, circle the 3. You write that whole square root as its prime factorization. I already have it in order. 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. You look for pairs and bring one of each pair out. I have a pair of 2s, no more 2s, and I only have 1 3. So you bring 1 2 out and you multiply what's left over on the inside and you're done, baby. You're done. Now, some teachers might have you do something like this. It might look like this, right? It might look something like this. In which case you'd be like, the square root of 4 is 2, and then you have 6. It all depends on what kind of teacher you have. But the Nick Parrish method of doing square roots is so much better than whatever dumb teacher you had in the past. Okay, trust me on this one. Trust me, I'm looking back because my 5-year-old's in the room and I said, dumb? Is dumb a curse word? She said, no. Yes, it is? Great. Now I can't make this safe for kids. I wasn't going to anyway. All right, so, cube root. So cube root follows the rules a little bit differently. That is an eraser. That is a pen. So let's cube root it. I don't need to make a factor tree for 16. I know, first off, negative. 16 I know is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Who wants to be annoying? Me. A times A times A. Okay. B times 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 B 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 times B. Now, since this is a cube root, I am circling groups of 3. In a cube root, you're allowed to have a negative. Bring it out. I have 1 2 3 4 2s, so let's pull out a group of 2 of them. I have 1 2 3 A's. Let's pull out a group of 1 of them. I have 1 2 3 B's. Let's pull out 1 of them. And I have 1 2 3 B's. And let's pull out 1 of them. And I have 2 B's left over. Or not 2 B's. Shakespeare. What did I pull out? A negative, a 2, an A, a B, and a B. So a B squared. What do I have left over? 2 times no A's times 2 B's, so 2B squared. Don't forget the cube in your cube root. Same rules apply for 4th roots and 5th roots and stuff like that, but we're not going to lose sleep over it. Let's see if we can simplify these guys first. The way you would combine like terms if they're square roots is you would combine them as if they're regular like terms. Like if you were an A and if you were an A, then we would do like negative 4A. Oh, but you're not. You're a root 45 and you're a root 20 and you're a root 6. And you might be thinking to yourself, can't you fix 45 and 20 and bring stuff out like the guy did before? Yes. 45 is 9 times 5. So let me write that out as 3 times 3 times 5. 20 is 4 times 5. So let me write that out as 2 times 2 times 5. 6 is 2 times 3. Can't do much there. I can bring out a group of 3s and multiply it to that negative 2, and that gives me negative 6 and leaves me with the square root of 5. I can pull out a group of 2s and bring that out and multiply it to that negative 3 and get another negative 6, and I'm left with the square root of 5. And then I have 2 times 3, which does nothing, 6, just 6. What can I do with you? Nothing. What can I do with these guys? Combine them. Negative 6 root 5s take away 6 more root 5s is negative 12 root 5s. And then minus 2 root 6. That's how you simplify it. Okay? Okay? When you multiply square roots or cube roots, what you do is you multiply from within the roots and you keep that root the way it is. In other words, this is a big third root of 3 times 9, which is 27. Well, wait a minute. 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. This is a cube root. Circle a group of 3s, bring it out. What do I have left over? Nothing. What's my answer? 3. Dunzo. When you multiply roots, you multiply the insides and create one big root. Okay, also known as a radical, and this was a cube root. Let's do it again. Now, this is distributed property, which means multiple multiplying. So I have 4 times no number, which is going to be 4. I have the square root of 15 times the square root of 6, which is the square root of 90, because 15 times 6 is 90. Okay? I have 4 root 15 times root 5. 4 times no number is positive 4. Root 15 times root 5 is 75. Let's rip this apart. Okay, 9 times 10 is going to be 3 times 3 times 2 times 5. So 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 plus 4. 75 is 3 times 5 times 5 because it's 3 times 25. This is square root, so circle a pair of 3s and bring it out. 4 times 3 is 12. What's left over? 2 times 5, which is 10. This is square root, so circle a group of 5s. 4 times 5 is 20. Circle a root 3. Can I combine these? No. Am I done? Yes. Yes, I is. Foil. Foil. Root 3 times root 3. I already know what's going to happen, but let's just write it out anyway. Root 9. Root 3 times negative 5. Root 5x is negative 5 because, negative 5 is living on the outside. Nothing combines with it. 3 times 5x is going to be 15x. Root 5x times root 3 is going to be positive root 15x. Oh, how convenient. And root 5x times negative 5, root 5x is negative 5. Root 5x times root 5x is root 25x squared. You might be thinking, stupid pants. Oh, Okay, my 5-year-old's in the room. I don't know if I brought that up yet. Stupid is a bad word, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's twice. Strike 2 in one video. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. You just said it. Yes, ma'am. You're thinking, silly guy with a hat. Root 3 times root 3, when you square a square root, they just disappear and you end up with 3, right? Mm-hmm. And just, I wanted to show everything and make sure everybody's good with that. There's nothing I can do with root 15x. So negative 5 plus invisible 1 is going to be negative 4, and then root 15x just comes along for the ride. And then I have negative 5 times, wait a minute, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of x squared is 5x. Couldn't you just have figured it out at the very beginning when you said root 5x times root 5x, you're squaring a square root, which just makes a 5x? Yes. Too late. This gives me 3 still. This gives me negative 4 root 15x still. And this gives me negative 25x. Those are 3 different terms that don't combine. I am done. Done. Now, here's the issue with this guy right here. You're not allowed to have square roots on the bottom of a fraction in the denominator. You are going to see this a lot in pre-calculus where you're going to have square roots in the denominator. You're going to see it a lot. You're going to see it a lot. And this is what you do. If you have just a square root or 3 times a square root in this case, the way you fix that problem is you multiply the top and the bottom by root 5 over root 5. What that does is it still gives us a square root on top, which we don't care about, but it gets rid of the square root in the denominator. So we take whatever square root that is. If it's just one term, no adding, no subtracting, whatever that guy is, you multiply that to the top and the bottom. So we multiplied root 5 to the top and the bottom. When we do that, that gives us 4. 2 times root 5 is root 10. Root 2 times root 5 is root 10. And on the bottom, we get 3 times root 5 squared, which is 5. Cleaning that up gets us 4 root 10 over 15. Now, before you get all excited and think, oh, 2 over 3, 2 over 3. No. Stop it. No. This is inside of a square root, and that is not. So you can't simplify them. 4 over 15, you can't do a thing with, this is my answer, I'm done. So again, you are going to see it a lot where you're going to have a single term in the denominator. And the way you get rid of a square root in the denominator, if you have a single term, is you multiply the top and the bottom by that square root. It's going to happen a lot in pre-calculus. Okay? Now here's the issue. What if I'm adding or subtracting on the top or the bottom? You see, if I multiply the top and the bottom by root 2, I would distribute that, and then 5 becomes 5 root 2, and you're in the same exact position that you were in before. Okay? If you are adding or subtracting in the denominator, and you have a square root in the denominator, what you do is you multiply the numerator and the denominator by what's called the conjugate. And the conjugate is whatever guy that is, but flip the sign in the middle. This is difference of squares. And difference of squares means a square minus a square. And the nice thing about a square is it can't be a square root. Because if you square it, the square root goes away. So difference of squares is a square minus a square, which means no more square roots. So the top I have to do the same thing to. 5 minus root 2. So the top guy is distributed property, and the bottom guy is FOIL. So the top guy is going to be root 5 times 5, so 5 root 5. Root 5 times negative root 2, so minus root 10. The bottom is FOIL. Magical things are going to happen. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times negative root 2 is negative 5 root 2. Root 2 times 5 is positive 5 root 2. Remember that magic I was talking about earlier? And root 2 times negative root 2 is, well, root 2 times root 2 is 2, because it's root 2 squared. And so it's negative 2, minus 2. Can't combine the top. You're a 5, and you can't simplify those square roots. So it remains 5 root 5 minus root 10 over, you guys go away, and 25 minus 2 is 23. It's called rationalizing the denominator. What you're really going to want to know from what we just did is what we saw here with the root 5 over root 5. All this stuff is very important, but this is probably the most important. So thank you for watching. Bye.